Well, hello again, ghouls and goblins, and welcome back to the channel. Today's spooky adventure brings me to the Greenville, North Carolina Comic Con. Why the Greenville, North Carolina Comic Con? Well, I'm going to see what kind of spooky collectibles I can find here, as well as Halloween merchandise, because normally there's tons of vendors here that sell not only spooky collectibles, but also vintage Halloween merchandise and t-shirts. Now, this is the first in a line of conventions coming here to Greenville in the summer of 2026. In about 3 weeks, I'll be coming back for the Greenville, North Carolina Horror Convention, so stay tuned to the channel for that. And then later on in October, there's Nightmare Weekend up in Raleigh, North Carolina. So convention season is here, spooky season is here. So what am I going to find today at the Greenville, North Carolina Comic Con? There's only one way to find out, and of course, that's to join me if you dare.
I got a black heart, it's a new start. Welcome to the spooky club. I got a black heart, it's a new start. Welcome to the spooky club. Take that! Join the spooky club.
I feel like I'm underdressed for this, just wearing a Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers t-shirt. I feel like everybody's going to be in cosplay. I guess I'm in cosplay. I'm the guy holding the camera. I'm a content creator. Man, one of those ices sure would hit the spot on a 100-degree day. Not so much with the funnel cakes, though. Too hot.
All right, cool. So one of the first booths, they have like this, I guess this kind of like handmade, vintage-inspired pieces. But of course, anything handmade is going to go for well over $100. But this is kind of like a Johanna Parker style ghost tabletop piece. And then check this one out. We've got like this little metal custom-made trick-or-treat bucket with the vintage Beistel style jack-o'-lantern cutout here on it. But again, of course, anything custom made definitely has a hefty price tag. And then we've got some of these vintage style clay pieces. Now again, I don't think these are vintage. They're just made to look vintage. And wow, like $70 for these. The smaller ones, close to $50 for these. You can almost buy some of the originals for the price of some of these facsimile reproductions. And look at this little guy. He's got a little mini trick-or-treat pill for a head. He's got that wonky looking face there. And this guy is also almost $50 for him. Look at the grumpy candle here. I've seen the grumpy pumpkins all the time, but this is the first time I think I've ever seen a grumpy Halloween candle. I mean, he's cool though, but just a little too expensive for my taste. We even have a custom jointed skeleton with a jack-o'-lantern head, and he's not made out of paper. He's kind of made out of more like metal jointed style pieces, if you could call it that. All right. Well, yeah, this one's almost like $50 for this. Then we've got a vintage inspired giant air-blown inflatable. And this one's got to be from like the late 90s or early 2000s. They're asking around $40 for this. Whether it still works or not, I don't know. I don't collect inflatables, but I am a sucker for the old box art. All right, so it's from 2003. And of course, it's from the Jimmy Gimme Corporation. Love that company. And this is really cool. This is like an outdoor hanging piece here. Another like custom made piece here. This booth is really, really cool. Got all of the vintage like 1950s, 1940s style trick-or-treaters. $55 for this piece. And the artwork and the detail on it is just amazing. And the witch is a little bit larger, sitting in the crescent moon here. Kind of reminds me of something you would see at TJ Maxx this year, but $110 for this piece. A little too expensive for me. The ghost, I'm not seeing a price on the ghost, but look at this domino rally down here. All right, there's even a Chia zombie here. Now, I grabbed the Chia Elvira about 3 months ago off of eBay, so I think I'm pretty set on spooky Chia pets, but this one's cool nonetheless. And shout out to Jacula's Castle. It's unusual seeing a Texas Frightmare Weekend circular here from 2019, but I know those guys hit up Texas Frightmare Weekend a lot. But somehow this has ended up at the Greenville, North Carolina Comic Con from 2019. Few Ben Cooper style masks here. Batman, Two-Face. Looks like they were selling for $2.99 at some point in time at some store. They also have the Catwoman Ben Cooper style mask. This is probably the coolest one. I think this is probably from like 1992, possibly from the Batman movie. I think that was the last time Ben Cooper was on shelves. Tons and tons of t-shirts. This is probably going to be my weakness here today because I'm always a sucker for a good spooky t-shirt. And it looks like they're $30 each. And there's Sam and all of the Halloween staples, but it looks like the Fright Rags shirts are $40. And what have we got here? Tales from the Dark Side. Okay, I was worried that the print was going to be kind of one of the thicker prints, but it actually feels pretty good. I may have to look at that in just a minute and see. That may be a pickup today if they have my size. Halloween, Michael Myers, just about everything you can think of. Ghostface, Fangoria, Jaws for Summerween, Freddy Krueger, Nightmare on Elm Street, Bride of Frankenstein, Return of the Living Dead. That's a great one. I think there's supposed to be a Living Dead reboot movie coming out sometime this year. I've been hearing through the Halloween spooky news grapevine, and I have that Elvira shirt there, the one where she's holding the beer can for 1991. Super cool shirt. All right, here's the Tales from the Dark Side shirt. Unfortunately, they only have a size large, and they're asking $40 for it, but I did just hop over to eBay and ordered it for $18. And Halloween 3, I've got like 2 or 3 Halloween 3 t-shirts. I don't have this style though, but I don't think I need another one. Halloween 3 is my all-time favorite movie, and every time I see merchandise from that, I'm a sucker. Look at this, the Nightmare Before Christmas on Elm Street. Freddy has made his way into Disney. And then there's a few bags here. This is Macabre's Costumes booth. They are the guys that are going to be putting on the HorrorCon here in 3 weeks at the Greenville, North Carolina Convention Center. They've got a lot of cool, spooky Halloween themed handbags here. Bride of Frankenstein and Frankenstein. We've got like the little goth girl here. We've got this one here with the skull and crossbones. We've got like the little Edgar Allan Poe style pieces here. The Phantom of the Opera. Super cool stuff here. And look at this one. This kind of looks like a Loungefly bag. I don't think it is Loungefly, but it's cool nonetheless. All the traditional Halloween colors on it. Nightmare Before Christmas. Also got the glittery jack-o'-lantern bag here. So definitely cool pieces. And I do believe they have an online shop also. So if you see anything here, you can hop over to their online store and they do ship. So be sure to check them out because they're putting on a cool HorrorCon in 3 weeks. And I'm lucky enough to have media passes to it. So I'm sure that's going to be a fun time. Look at this one. The Book of Halloween. Really cool stuff here. I mean, I don't collect stuff like this, but if you do, it's definitely worth checking out their website and seeing what you can find that you may not be able to live without until you saw it at this moment. And of course, they've got a few costumes also, since they focus heavily on Halloween costumes. I did ask a few minutes ago if they had any Ben Cooper, since that's my weakness. And unfortunately, no Ben Cooper. A few autographed Tim Curry pieces here from Rocky Horror Picture Show. And then up here, we've got the original Pennywise, my all-time favorite, much better than the current Pennywise. A few autographed pieces here. There's a Hellraiser metal lunchbox autographed on the front and the back. I do collect metal lunchboxes, but for $300, I think I'm gonna have to leave this behind, because if I got that, I wouldn't be able to afford my lunch. I think I'll just stick to my metal Kiss lunchbox that I take my lunch in every day to work. And this one is a autographed Jason Voorhees mask. I don't think it's Kane Hodder though. I can't make out who the autograph is. I always get worried about buying autographed merchandise because without a COA, you don't really know what you're paying for. Unfortunately, I do think most of these do come with a COA though. We've got an autographed Michael Myers NECA figure. For me, though, personally, I never really got into autographed merchandise. I don't know why. It just kind of takes away from the overall look of stuff. Got a Christine 1958 Plymouth Fury die-cast here autographed, and the Stranger Things pizza van. These are really cool. They're like kind of stained glass, custom-made pieces. The Poltergeist, the Hellraiser here. Again, Hellraiser is going to be at HHN this year. Morticia Addams, loving that one, the black and the red. And then over here, there's the Punisher. And then we've got Art the Clown. Art the Clown is just absolutely everywhere. And of course, Elvira.
We'll return after these messages.
Want to go psycho with me, Elvira, here at the Bates Motel? Look for me wherever they sell mug root beer. And enter the Go Psycho with Elvira contest. You can be my guest at Universal Studios in Hollywood for a monstrous bash at the Bates Motel. Shower anyone? This Halloween, go psycho with Elvira and win a party with mug root beer and me.
I love my mug.
I love it.
And they also have a Freddy stained glass piece here. I'm going to tell you, this custom stuff is definitely awesome this year at the Comic-Con. Mars Attacks. And look at this, a bottle of Rowdy Roddy Piper's all out of bubble gum. Never knew this was a thing. Ghostbusters Play-Doh. I think this is from the early 1980s. I think I had this when I was a kid. It glows in the dark. And I think there's a new Ghostbusters cartoon out on Netflix, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I'm right. 1984 on this. I'm pretty sure that the Play-Doh inside the box is pretty much dried up at this point, 40 years later. And then look at this. They've got the Ghostbusters 40th anniversary plasma pack. These are meant to look like the 3.75 inch scale O-ring G.I. Joe action figures. So you can put the Ghostbusters on duty with all of the G.I. Joe guys. And I see this talking Crypt Keeper just about everywhere I go now. Comic-Con, thrift stores, flea markets, you name it. And look at this, a Bystol style jointed Superman superpowers piece. Never knew that this even existed. And of course, a Friday the 13th LJN NES game. Used to absolutely love playing that. Second sighting for Wax Lips this year. It looks like the Halloween candy staple Wax Lips is making a comeback in 2026. I found this over here at one of the food vendors stands. And of course, I've seen this for many years now. It used to be at Target. It's by NECA. It's the glow in the dark 6-inch Frankenstein, meant to look like the old Remco pieces. And then of course, Count Chocula's action figure that was a staple at Ross earlier this year. And I keep hunting, guys, but I've yet to find the General Mills monsters yet in store. Look at this, a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles cookie container, which you could also drill a hole in the back since it's kind of the same plastic as blow molds. And you could run a bulb in that and you could make a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle blow mold. We've got Casper's book and record for $3 here. This could be a pickup because I am a sucker for these, and this one even still has the record included. Normally you just find the books and the records are not even included, but this one, it's prestige. And of course, the Casper Strange Ghost Stories, the comics here are $1. These would look great in frames just hanging around in your room. And look at this one, the World of Archie Spooky Edition from like the early 90s. I had a crush on a vampire. Love the artwork on this. And even the Heebie-Jeebies Simpsons Treehouse of Horror comic book collection here. Of course, you're going to find spooky comics at Comic-Con naturally. And Swamp Thing. I've actually got the first appearance of Swamp Thing. It's one of the comics I consider my retirement fund. And then Werewolf by Night and $60 for The Witching Hour. Love these old books like this. Tales from the Crypt and all of the old EC comics from back in the day. Lots of Werewolf by Night and The Toxic Avenger. And this came out about 10 years ago. I remember when it was selling at Ollie's for $2.99, but it's like a Harley Quinn Ben Cooper. And an old book here. I'm a sucker for these. $2 for this Legend of Sleepy Hollow. I am going to pick up the Domino Rally I saw earlier because I had one of these when I was a kid. I had the glow-in-the-dark Ghost Ride one, but I'll get this for my grandson who's on the way.
Happy Halloween from Channel 13.
Hi, kids. Casper the Friendly Ghost here for Target. This is the place for Halloween. They've got everything. Maybe it's me who's scaring them. It sure can't be the prices.
$1.96 each Snickers and M&M's fun size. 2 for $3, Tootsie Rolls and Tootsie Pops.
I guess nothing's scarier than ghosts. Except for monsters. Remember, shop Target before Halloween vanishes.
Now, back to our program.
All right, so Target has finally released their vacuforms for 2026, $10 each. Here's the Ghost. I gotta say, I'm really not feeling it this year. And here is the Skull. Like, the Ghost and the Skull to me are just kind of really bland opposed to previous years. And then it looks like the third piece here is this like Victorian style jack-o'-lantern. All $10 each, guys, but I really feel like it's not as great this year. And then, of course, the Fanta Ghost Face Punch has just been announced, coming to Target and other stores, coming in mid-September. And one of the weirdest inflatables coming to Target, the Castle Grayskull inflatable for $137.
Have a safe and happy Halloween.
All right, so there we have it. Some spooky collectibles here at the Greenville, North Carolina Comic Con. Not too much in the way of vintage Halloween, unfortunately, but here's hoping in about 3 weeks at the Horror Con, it'll be a much different story. And at Nightmare Weekend in Raleigh, I'm sure my wallet's going to be in dire straits there. Money for nothing, and your Halloween's not free. Sorry, bad dad joke. But anyway, I'll be covering all of those events, plus plenty more in-store Halloween hunts here on the channel. All kinds of spooky fun coming your way this spooky season and 365 days a year here on the channel. So if you're into all things Halloween, Summerween, and everything in between, including retro and holiday related, how about slashing that subscribe button and joining the club, and also turning on that notification bell so you don't miss a moment of the spooky retro fun that we have here on the channel. And until next time, I'll see you on the dark side.
This is KOVR, Channel 13, Stockton, Sacramento, signing off another day of TV programming. KOVR is owned and operated by KOVR TV Incorporated. Good night from the staff and management of KOVR, Stockton, Sacramento.